Every single day, good men walk away from something real, not because it wasn't there, but because it didn't look like what they expected love to look like. They were searching for fireworks, for bold words, grand gestures, loud confessions, but real love, it rarely arrives dressed that way. Sometimes, the truest kind of love hides. It lingers behind guarded eyes, tight smiles, and quiet presence. It's silent. It's soft. It's scared. Today, I want to show you what most men never learn to see. The quiet signs her heart already belongs to you, even if she hasn't spoken a word. This isn't guesswork. This is deeper. This is about understanding human behavior at its most vulnerable. And once you understand it, you'll never look at connection the same way again. If you're tired of being blind to the truth, if you're ready to stop mistaking silence for disinterest, then stay with me. What you're about to hear might save you from walking away, from something rare. And if you find value in what I'm sharing, support this movement. You're not just helping this channel, you're helping another man finally open his eyes. Let me ask you something. If a woman loved you, but was too afraid to show it, would you even notice? What if the greatest connection you'll ever have is standing right in front of you, hiding behind pride, pain, and silence? Most men miss it, but you don't have to, not anymore. 1. Subconscious loyalty. When someone's heart is quietly tethered to yours, loyalty doesn't need a spotlight. It doesn't need to be announced, explained, or paraded. It simply exists. Not in the words they say, but in the choices they make. Especially when life is messy, inconvenient, or overwhelming. Subconscious loyalty is never dramatic. It moves like a shadow, showing up when you're not even sure you need anyone. And yet, there they are. Not with fanfare, but with quiet presence. They don't plan it. They don't calculate it. They don't say, "Today, I will show him I care." They just show up. Without needing a reason. Without asking for anything in return. And here's what matters most. They show up when it would have been easier not to, when they had something else to do, when the timing was bad, when no one would have blamed them for staying away. That's when you see it. The real kind of loyalty. Maybe she cancels plans without telling you. Maybe she checks in when you're silent, not to pry, but because something inside her feels your distance. Maybe she listens without needing you to speak perfectly, because her concern isn't what you're saying, it's how you're carrying yourself. She gives you her time without hesitation, as if it were the most natural thing in the world, because for her, loyalty isn't an obligation, it's instinct. And what's more powerful, she doesn't even realize she's doing it. That's why it's called subconscious loyalty. It becomes a pattern, one you didn't notice at first. But over time, it becomes impossible to ignore. She's there during the quiet spells, during your stress, when things fall apart, and she stays. Not because she's waiting for praise, but because something in her soul already sees you as someone worth standing beside. Loyalty like this is rare. It doesn't come with loud declarations. It doesn't demand recognition. It hides because it's real, because it's sacred. Her loyalty isn't an act. It's a reflection of emotional gravity. Your pain matters to her. Your silence echoes in her chest. Your well-being becomes something she tends to gently, even when you don't ask for it. So the next time someone keeps showing up, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly and consistently, don't overlook it. It's not politeness. It's not coincidence. It's not obligation. It's a heart already anchored to yours, hoping you'll finally feel what she's too afraid to speak. 2. Emotional inconsistency. You've seen it before. One moment, she's fully there. Her smile feels real. Her energy leans into you. Her laughter is effortless. Her presence magnetic. And for a second, it feels like she's all in. Then, without warning, the warmth disappears. The messages slow down. The distance grows. And you're left wondering, was it ever real? Most men don't understand what's happening. They take it personally. They think, she's losing interest. Or worse, she was just playing with me. But that's not the truth. What you're witnessing isn't a game. It's a war, a quiet one that's raging inside her heart. It's the battle between the part of her that wants to trust you and the part that remembers every moment she did and got hurt. Because when a woman has been wounded by betrayal, by loss, by false promises, her soul doesn't just move on, it builds walls, strong, silent ones, not to punish you, but to protect what's still fragile, so when she's warm, close, and open, that's the part of her that's hoping. That's her heart trying to believe again. But when she pulls away, grows cold, distant, it's fear stepping in. It's her past whispering, don't get too close. You remember what happened last time. This is emotional inconsistency, not as a strategy, but as a symptom of a heart still healing. She doesn't mean to confuse you. She's not trying to manipulate. She's just scared. And that fear doesn't come in loud. It shows up subtly, in delayed replies, vague answers, distant eyes, in conversations that once felt alive, but now feel rehearsed. If you don't understand this, you'll misread everything. You'll think she's playing with your emotions, when really she's at war with her own. Every time she draws near, it's because she wants to. Every time she pulls back, it's because something inside her is screaming, what if he's like the rest? You see, a woman who doesn't care about you stays steady, emotionally flat, unaffected. But a woman whose heart is conflicted, she'll give you glimpses of truth, and then hide them in fear. It's not rejection. It's not disinterest. It's a silent question. Can I trust you with this heart I've barely kept together? So what do? You don't beg. You don't chase. You don't lash out. You stay calm. You stay grounded. You become the stillness in her storm. You don't fix her past. You don't try to pull her in. You simply make it clear, with your presence, your patience, your peace, that she's safe now. Because love, real love, isn't proven by passion. It's proven by presence. And when she feels that, when she realizes she doesn't have to perform, doesn't have to guard herself with you. That's when the inconsistency fades, not because you forced her to change, but because your strength gave her permission to soften. Emotional inconsistency isn't a reason to run. It's a signal to understand, to lean in with awareness, and to ask yourself, am I the kind of man who can hold space for a woman who's still healing? Because if you are, you'll earn something most men never do, a heart that didn't just fall for you quickly, but chose you slowly, carefully, honestly. 3. Emotional reactivity. When someone feels something real, it doesn't always come out the way they want. In fact, it often escapes in ways they can't control. She might not say how much you mean to her. She might even pretend she doesn't care, but her emotions will tell you before her words ever will. Watch closely. You'll see it in the way her mood shifts when you're too friendly with someone else, in the sarcasm that slips out when you cancel plans, in the silence that lingers a little too long after you mention another woman's name. This is emotional reactivity, and it's one of the clearest signs that her heart is involved, even if her mouth says otherwise. If she felt nothing, she'd stay still. No reaction, no tension, no coldness. But when the feelings run deep, they don't hide. They flare. It's not because she's dramatic. It's not a game. It's instinct. Because love makes people vulnerable, and vulnerability is terrifying. When you've been burned before, that's why she reacts. Not to punish you, not to push you away, but because some part of her is scared. You'll walk away without warning. So, she guards herself the only way she knows how, by pretending it doesn't matter, while everything inside her is screaming that it does. And most men miss this completely. They think she's moody. They think she's playing hard to get. They call it drama, when in truth, it's emotion leaking through a crack she couldn't seal in time. A raised eyebrow, a distant tone, an unexpected argument. None of it is random. These are signs, subtle, messy, human signs, that she feels more than she's ready to admit. And if you're not careful, you'll walk away too soon, never realizing that, behind the tension, was a heart desperately trying to protect itself. So, what do? You don't match her reactivity. You don't fight fire with fire. You stay calm. You stay steady. You recognize her reaction for what it is. A silent plea to know, am I safe with you? That's the moment a Stoic man stands apart. He doesn't get offended. He doesn't retreat. He reads the signs and stays grounded, because a man who can hold space for a woman in her storm is a man she'll never forget. She may not thank you. She may not even realize what you've done, but deep inside, she'll remember the one man who didn't run when things got complicated, the one who saw past the reaction and into the truth beneath it. 4. Attentive listening. In today's world, people hear more than ever, but they listen less than ever. Everyone is busy. Everyone is distracted. Phones buzz. Thoughts race. Voices compete for attention. But when someone truly listens to you, everything slows down. Because real listening, deep, deep, intentional listening, is one of the rarest gifts you'll ever receive. It's not flashy. It doesn't shout for attention. It whispers. And in that whisper, it reveals something powerful. When a woman truly cares, you won't always know it from what she says. You'll feel it in how she listens. She pauses whatever she's doing. She turns her full attention toward you. She's not scrolling her phone. She's not half there. She's present, fully, completely. And in that moment, your words matter. Not just the important ones, all of them. She notices the tremble in your voice, the moment your smile fades, the sigh between your sentences. She hears the story behind the story, the parts you don't say out loud, the weight you carry, but don't describe. Her listening goes beyond hearing. It's emotional presence, spiritual stillness, a kind of silent support that says, "I see you." She won't interrupt. She won't try to fix everything. She doesn't need to offer advice or solutions, because sometimes all you need is someone who actually hears you. And when she listens like that, you'll feel safe. Not because she makes you strong, but because she allows you to stop pretending. You don't need to be impressive. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be you. And she's still there, listening like it's the only thing that matters. That kind of listening is rare and sacred. It means something has shifted in her heart. You're not just someone she talks to. You're someone she's emotionally investing in. And here's the part most men miss. We've been taught to look for bold signs. She says, "I love you." She introduces you to friends. She makes big plans. But the truth? Love often shows itself in quiet, patient attention. The woman who listens with her whole soul is telling you something deeper than words ever could. She's saying, "You matter to me. Your voice matters. Your world matters." Not just when it's easy to listen, but especially when it's not. When you're not making sense. When you ramble. When you repeat the same frustration you've shared 100 times. She still listens. And if she remembers those details weeks later, if she brings up a story you forgot you told, that's not coincidence. That's care. Her memory is guided by her emotions, and you've become part of her emotional landscape. Don't overlook it. The world is loud. People are impatient. Attention is rare. But if you see a woman who quiets the noise, just to tune into you, don't take it lightly. She's not listening because she has to. She's listening because she chooses to. And when someone chooses to truly listen, they're already giving you a piece of their heart. So pause, notice, honor it, because in that moment, you're not just being heard, you're being loved. 5. Remembering tiny details. Real love doesn't always arrive with grand gestures. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, tucked into the details you thought no one noticed, like how she remembers the exact way you like your eggs, how she brings up a memory you only mentioned once, half asleep, how she knows which jacket is your favorite before you even reach for it. That's not chance. That's emotional focus. Memory isn't just mental, it's emotional filtration. We keep what matters. We forget what doesn't move us. So when someone remembers the smallest things about you, the overlooked, the unspoken, the seemingly trivial, you've become more than just a name in their life. You've become an imprint. And that imprint, it's not something they try to build. It forms on its own. When someone values you deeply enough, that even your offhand comments matter. This is how a woman quietly tells you, you've impacted me. Not through declarations, not through ceremony, but through remembering the details you didn't even remember sharing. She'll recall the way you wince at a particular sound. She'll know your favorite comfort food on a hard day. She'll sense the weight in your voice when you say, I'm fine, but don't mean it. And she won't say much. She'll just act. A gesture here, a small check-in there, a question you didn't expect, because she's been paying attention all along. Men often miss this. They wait for fireworks, for emotional speeches, for signs they can't ignore. But the truth is, what's most real is often most quiet. Memory is a mirror. It reflects where someone's heart is looking. When she remembers the name of your childhood dog, the kind of jokes you laugh at, the exact phrasing you use when you talk about your dreams, that's not basic memory. That's emotional anchoring. She's anchoring you into her world, not consciously, but because something in her has decided he matters. You didn't ask her to remember. You didn't test her. But the fact that she brings it up later, when you've long forgotten, is a sign that your presence lingered in her long after the conversation ended. And in today's world, where people scroll through lives and forget names faster than they learn them, that kind of remembering is sacred. It tells you this: you weren't just heard, you were felt. You didn't just speak, you left a mark. So next time she recalls something small, a food you hate, a dream you buried, a story you only told once, pause. Because that moment is not random. It's recognition. And recognition is one of the purest signs of love. 6. Seeking proximity. You can fake a smile. You can fake politeness. But what you can't fake is the discomfort that creeps in when someone you care about is suddenly not there. This is what most men overlook. They measure love by presence. But real love often shows itself in how a person reacts to absence. She may not tell you how she feels. She might not even admit it to herself. But watch how she behaves when you're not around. Does she find small reasons to reach out? Does she send you a message about something trivial, just to keep the thread of conversation alive? Does she act slightly off when you pull away, like something inside her is trying to hold the connection together, even if her words don't say it? This isn't manipulation. This isn't playing games. This is emotional attachment, revealing itself in the most natural way it knows how. Subtle proximity. People don't always know how to name their feelings, but their actions speak. She might invite you to a random event. Ask your opinion on something she could Google. Call just to ask a quick question. What she's really doing is trying to keep you close without looking obvious, because closeness feels safe, and distance feels like losing control. When someone is emotionally attached, the idea of you drifting too far triggers a quiet panic. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's her looking over when you leave the room. It's her being more talkative when you return. You'll see it in the way she chooses seats near you, lingers a little longer in your space, or seems more at ease when you're close. This isn't always conscious. It's instinctive. It's her emotional system sending signals she hasn't fully processed. Because when someone cares, your absence creates a tension they can't explain. If she seems restless when you're gone, or suddenly more energized when you reappear, pay attention. That's not casual. That's connection. Most men misread this. They think it's coincidence. They assume she's just being friendly. But if you look closer, you'll notice a pattern. The text when you go quiet. The call when you take a step back. The questions that come out of nowhere. All of them are rooted in an emotional pull. A quiet tug of war between pride and desire. Her mind says, play it cool. Her heart says, don't lose him. When a woman seeks proximity, she's not always trying to chase. She's trying to stay grounded in a connection that brings her peace, even if she won't say that out loud. And if you're the kind of man who knows how to read this, you'll stop chasing clarity from words. You'll read her energy, her timing, her presence. Because real emotional proximity isn't just about how someone acts around you. It's about how deeply your absence affects their state of being. If she can go days without hearing from you and feel nothing, that's detachment. But if she looks for you in the silence, if she finds ways to stay emotionally near without even realizing it, you're not just a passing thought. You are a presence. Her soul is already orbiting. 7. Silent protectiveness. Love isn't always loud. Sometimes the truest sign of care is the quiet urge to protect, without being asked. When someone truly feels for you, they don't wait for a crisis to react. They notice before the storm hits. They sense the tension in your silence. They catch the weight behind your smile. You don't have to cry out. You don't have to ask. They're already there, adjusting the world around you in small, invisible ways. She'll offer her warmth when you're cold, without saying a word. She'll tease you about taking better care of yourself, but there's worry behind the laughter. She'll stand close when you're anxious, not to be noticed, but because she can't help it. Protectiveness isn't about being dramatic. It doesn't wear a cape. It doesn't need applause. It just shows up, quietly. You'll see it in how she listens, in how she pays attention to the things you don't even realize you reveal, in how she reacts when life weighs heavy on you. She won't always say, I'm here for you. But you'll feel it in how she stays when others walk away. This instinct to protect, it comes from something deeper than affection. It comes from connection, from seeing your peace as her peace, your pain as her concern. She might not even understand it herself. She might brush it off, make a joke, or downplay what she did. But don't let that fool you. Her protectiveness isn't planned. It's not strategy. It's not obligation. It's emotional gravity. It pulls her closer when you're hurting. Most men overlook this. They search for grand gestures, loud declarations. But real love, it hides in the quiet, in the jacket offered in silence, in the way she watches you walk away and lingers, just in case you turn back. If you see it, don't ignore it, because when someone protects you without needing recognition, you've already been chosen. Most men miss it, because they've been conditioned to look for sparks, noise, and grand gestures. But real love, Real emotional protectiveness doesn't arrive with fireworks. It shows up in silence, in the way someone checks on you without needing a reason, in how they notice when your energy is off, even if you say nothing. They won't make speeches. They won't flood you with words. Instead, they'll offer their jacket without a second thought. Stand a little closer when life gets heavy. Shield your peace of mind like it's their own. That's how love acts when it's real. Not loud, but loyal. Not dramatic, but instinctive. They won't even know they're doing it. Because when someone's heart is truly involved, protecting you isn't something they try to do. It's something they can't help but do. But here's the tragedy. Most men walk away from that kind of love. They miss the woman who protected them in silence, who fought for their peace while saying nothing. Why? Because they were waiting for louder signals. They thought real love had to announce itself. But the truest kind of love doesn't compete for attention. It simply stays, quietly, consistently, even when it's afraid. So if someone ever shielded you in quiet ways, if they showed up not for credit, but because they genuinely cared, don't let that memory fade. Be the kind of man who sees, who listens between the words, who understands that not every heart yells when it loves. Some simply stand by. Some simply protect. And if this message awakened something in you, drop a comment below. I won't miss it again. Because the rarest love is the one that protects you silently, hoping you'll notice before it's gone. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe to the Stoic Spirit for more insights like this, and share this video with a brother who needs to hear it. We're building a space for men who feel deeply, act with strength, and never again walk blind through the most meaningful connections of their lives. See you in the next one.